All right, now, what's going on, people? It's Josh, aka Foresight, coming to you live once again from the other side of the culture, where we are in the culture but not of it, and we introduce the kingdom to the culture. So Steve Harvey was recently on the Club Shay Shay podcast with Shannon Sharp, and he said something that really resonated with me personally. And I think it's something that a lot of people can learn from. So let's take a look at this clip and then we'll come back and discuss it.
I'm good, man. I really can't. You know, I've entered a new phase.
Okay.
I was out the country recently, and I was kept talking to God about these deals, you know. And we get right to the edge, and we almost get there. Something would happen. Then we almost get to another one, and something would happen. And then I just figured it out, man. God said, I want you to go home. And I came back out the country, and I just went home. He said, I know you're asking me for a lot of stuff, but I want you to just take a minute and look at everything I done gave you. Look at everything I done done for you. Now just let me know you're all right, and then we'll go from there.
Right.
But I had to come home, man, for the past couple months and just look at all he done for me. I'm good.
So I thought that clip was really interesting because the situation that he explained is prevalent in the culture these days. You know, it seems like everybody is so wrapped up in getting to the bag and, you know, trying to get rich and being successful that it's to the point that, you know, they start taking for granted all the things that they already have, right? And at times I'm guilty of this as well, if I'm being honest. I think we're all guilty of it from time to time. The culture we live in encourages this mentality. So it's easy to get caught up in it. So when Steve says that he believes he heard God tell him to basically take a step back and, you know, just be thankful for all that he has already done in his life, I think that's super important. You know, I think a lot of us believe that God's desire for us is to be as rich and successful and accomplished as we can possibly be. And, you know, I think we walk around with this entitlement as if God owes us that. But what I've come to understand more and more as I've gotten closer to God over the years is that God ain't really as concerned with our financial status as we are. You know, God's number one concern as it relates to mankind, at least, is the salvation of our souls. You know, he's so concerned with that he literally entered into creation as a man and died to pay the debt for our sins, you know, in order to restore us back to him, to restore our relationship with him so that he wouldn't have to damn us to hell for eternity. And, you know, he wants that good news to be spread around the world, spread all across the globe so that as many people can be saved from his judgment as possible.
So you were thinking that because the deals weren't happening, God revealed to you, you need to go home and be thankful for what I've already given you instead of what you don't have right now.
Because my focus was in what I was trying to make happen. And I was losing sight of what had already happened.
Right.
And if you want more, you got to be grateful for what you have. But I was so busy wanting more,
Right.
I forgot to focus and take a look at what he'd already done.
Right.
I came home, man. I went home, sat around my house for a while, went down to my ranch, did some fishing. I looked at all that space and stuff, and all of a sudden I realized, I said, man, I'm really good.
Right.
I forgot. Okay, God, I see what you were saying.
Right.
Yeah, he'll give you some more. But would you
appreciative of
mind,
what you have.
would you just please be a little bit appreciative of what I know already
Right.
done?
You know, sometimes we got to step back and put things into perspective. You know, it's not all about money and material possessions, even though he can definitely bless you in that way as well. But when you are tempted to be ungrateful because you feel like things aren't going your way, or you haven't had the financial success that you hoped for, or, you know, whatever, you got to remember that God already did the best thing he could have ever done for you. He already did that. You know, he cleared your debt by the sacrifice of Jesus Christ. You know, if you would accept it and believe. He created a path to peace between you and him, you know, that could not have been accomplished any other way. And, you know, I know in that clip, Steve Harvey was still pretty much referring to all the other material stuff that God had already provided him with, right? Which is a blessing too. But even more important than those things is that he saved your soul from the pits of hell. That's what you really need to step back and be grateful for. So, you know, while you're chasing the bag, keep in mind, you know, all of this stuff is temporary and it won't last long. But what comes after this is for eternity. Mark chapter 8, verse 36 says, "What good is it for someone to gain the whole world yet forfeit their soul?" You know, it's clear that the soul is the most important thing here. You know, God is in the soul saving business, not the handout riches business. You know, Jesus warns us to not be rich fools. He said to the disciples in Luke chapter 12, "Watch out, be on your guard against all kinds of greed. Life does not consist in an abundance of possessions." So, you know, I do believe that God will nudge us occasionally. Like, hey, I know you're super focused on your pockets right now, but you better make sure that your salvation is secure. But yeah, man, get in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. Make sure you like and subscribe. Do not leave this video without liking and subscribing. It helps the channel a lot. The link to my music and the link to my Instagram will be down in the description. Go ahead and check those out. And I'll catch y'all next time. All right now.